Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I'm David Moucher, President and CEO of Windsor Regional Hospital. I'm joined here today with some distinguished guests, and Janice Caffer, the President and CEO of Hotel du Grace Healthcare, is joining me today to come here to talk to you about a very important event. Also with us is some other individuals you might recognize, and some of them will speak, and you'll hear more from them very shortly, but I'd like to introduce them as Mr. Taras Nadashak, our MPP from Essex. Taras. Mr. Percy Hatfield, our MPP from Windsor-Tecumseh. Miss Lisa Gretzky, unfortunately, she can't make it today. She had an appointment. She just couldn't move, but you'll hear more on her position with respect today. She's our MPP from Windsor West. And then we have the Mayor of the City of Windsor, Mr. Drew Dilkins is here. And we have Mr. Tom Bain, the Warden of the County of Essex. And then I have to call you out, Bill. We also have Bill Maher here, a councillor for the City of Windsor, also here for Hotel Dieu as well, but here more probably for Hotel Dieu today as a councillor because you have a conflict, so we'll keep you out of it for now. Thanks. And just so our distinguished guests know who else is in the audience as distinguished guests, these are the, in my opinion, no disrespect to all of you, but the important people. And these individuals, as we've talked about, going on now 4 years. We started in 2012 with the task force. And since 2012, Dave Cook, myself, Janice Caffer, and Gary Switzer have gone on roadshows and had community engagement sessions with various groups and organizations that invited us to attend and have a discussion with their groups and organizations about the project, about the vision, and about what holds or what can happen for our community and the benefits of moving towards this healthcare system for Windsor-Essex. So the individuals you have in this room are a small collection, but a collection of individuals from Windsor-Essex who either invited us to attend, they were part of their association, and while we were there said, how do we get involved? How do we make this a reality? How can we make this happen? So these individuals are who we term ambassadors for the project. And they're the individuals who really are going to make this happen. And probably there's some of the same individuals while you're here that you're hearing from that are from your municipality or from Windsor-Essex in general that are saying, we got to move this project forward. So again, thank you, ambassadors, for taking time out of your day being here and also staying for this event as well, because we had a little pre-session here where we just brought everyone up to date on the project. So why are we here today? Over the next month, we're going to be completing our discussions with the government on, with respect to stage 1. And I want to welcome everyone here today. I've lived in Windsor-Essex, I won't state my age, but closing in on 50 years. And I was born here. I bleed Windsor-Essex on a daily basis. I can personally remember on one hand, and maybe even one finger, how many times we've had individuals, the mayor, the warden, and our local provincial MPPs being in a room together, and being in a room together supporting the same cause and being on the same side of the issue. And they're from all different political stripes. Debating, sign of unity and common message, they're here today. So using the word historic, in my opinion, is an understatement of what we're seeing here today and what we're hearing about here today. The common and unified message today that we need the province to hear is that Windsor-Essex deserves a new hospital system, just like Humber, just like Oakville, opened this past year, and Vaughan is about to break ground. It is time we move forward. It is time we move forward unified with one voice. Now, I guaranteed a few things since we started this planning 4 years ago. I guaranteed it would be a lot of work. I guaranteed it would take time. And I also guaranteed that not everyone would be happy with the location of the new acute care hospital for our region. But the one thing we are hearing loud and clear is the overall investments in the Tayfort campus, in the Olette campus, in the former Grace site, and the new acute care hospital is needed, overdue, and welcomed. That is why we have today with us this distinguished group of elected individuals to be here today unified, speaking of one voice for the Windsor-Essex region, and to have the province hear that voice, that we are in this together and we want to move the project forward and we want to work with the Ministry of Health in making that a reality for the residents of Windsor-Essex. So over the next month, as I stated, we're going to be completing our discussions with the Ministry of Health on stage 1. And we need to move to stage 2 of a 5-stage process. It's not going to be easy. There's 5 other jurisdictions at the same stage we're at that want a new hospital for their region, and there's just a finite amount of provincial resources available. Now, during the planning, as we move forward, many issues will arise that need and continue to be need to be addressed. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs on the road ahead of us. However, the only way we're going to be able to address all these issues is to proceed with the process. We are committed to ongoing community consultation and engagement, and that's why you folks are here, is you've been part of that. But we've made it clear, no matter one's age or geographical residence, their opinion is no less important or more important than all 400,000, approximately 400,000 residents of Windsor-Essex County. However, one way I can guarantee we don't move forward is if we don't push together as a unified voice for Windsor-Essex. The province is not waiting to hand us $1.8 billion. However, as a unified front, we stand a chance, and a damn good chance, of making this a reality for the residents of Windsor-Essex. Projects get stopped when there is division, arguing, and disagreement. But today, we're here to say as a unified fashion that our region is ready to move ahead, and we look forward to working with the Ministry of Health to get to stage 2. Now, sign behind me. We've been, of course, continuing the dialogue with the community, and people are saying, what can we do? What can we do? Who can we talk to? Who can we talk to make this a reality? And in talking to these groups of distinguished leaders, one of them, who's going to be speaking first, came up with an idea, because we're all into social media now, we're all into tweeting, we're all into Facebooking, we're all into hashtags. So, yeah, not all of us, yeah. Actually, I saw Ken walk in with his BlackBerry today. I said, oh, you got a BlackBerry? He said, no, I always had it. You're the only person I text. So, so our MPP from Essex said, we need to come up with that hashtag. And within seconds, he said, I got the hashtag. So we're going to unveil our hashtag here. So thanks to Taras Natashak. Of course, we are ready. Windsor-Essex is ready. We are ready to move forward. So any of your communications with individuals, there's a group you got to communicate with, and that's our Minister of Health and our Erie St. Clair Lynn. We have to communicate with them with respect to the importance of this project, the importance of moving it forward. And we need their full support in making it a reality, and we've got to work with them. And we're dedicated to work with them. This group over here, what you do with this hashtag is say thanks. You say thanks to the members of City and County Council and our MPPs to say thank you for doing this, thank you for speaking as a united front and a unified voice for our region, and say whatever you need, we're here to help you. So don't screw up those messages. Don't send them messages saying get off your rumps and get going, because they're going. They're doing all they can with respect to this project. That's why they're here. because they know how important this is, and they're putting aside politics to make this occur. And things like this, we need our Minister of Health and those individuals to hear this from a positive tone, not a negative tone, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And we need their help, and that's what we're here for, is to have that positive tone, that positive discussion with our leaders in the province as well and across the province to make this reality for Windsor-Essex. So you heard enough from me. I'm going to hand it over to Taras Nadishak, who's our MPP for Essex, so I call up Taras.
This may be the highlight of my social media career here. This is wonderful. I've never had any of my hashtags turned into a big banner, but I'm very proud to see it up. Good afternoon, everyone. It really is an honor to be here, and I'm very pleased to be here today, joining my colleagues from both the City of Windsor and the County of Essex in this historic announcement. There's no more important issue than the health and well-being of our families and our friends. When a loved one is sick or requires emergent care, we collectively rally our resources required to support that person's healing process. It's one of the hallmarks of our caring and compassionate community. But so often we hear of patients having to travel out of our region to seek the best care possible. This disrupts their family life, economic security, and it degrades the trust in our local services. In recognition of this challenging and pervasive issue, we must look at enhancing and modernizing the delivery of our care. And the opportunity to take another step in that direction is what brings us all together today. A chance to come together as we do when a friend or a family member is facing a health-related challenge. With the completion of a new acute care hospital, we give our loved ones the very best setting, science, and services to support them on their road to recovery. That's what today is all about. The benefits to our entire region are frankly enormous. From the initial construction phase and the job opportunities associated to research and development in life sciences and biocluster development, the new acute care hospital opens up a generation of exciting possibilities in the 21st century healthcare delivery. Today's announcement signals quite clearly that we are ready. With a concerted and a united voice, we are ready to embrace world-class healthcare delivery right here in our region. We are ready to welcome and support the most modern advancements in healthcare. We are ready to come together and support each other for the benefits of our entire region. We're ready to move forward on the next phase towards better healthcare. I'm proud and honored to join my colleagues here today. I want to thank them, the leadership of our hospital administration, your guidance, your strength. Thank you so much. We are ready to move forward. Let's do it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Taras. Couldn't have said it better, fellow Yuki, with the passion. So thanks, Taras. Now I'm going to call up the mayor of the city of Windsor, Drew Dilkins, to say a few words. Drew.
Well, thank you very much, David, and good afternoon, everyone. This is really important that we come together today to reaffirm our support for the process that was undertaken to identify the location of the new single-site acute care hospital, and our commitment to continue to work together with our partners in the county, the steering committee, and the Ministry of Health to ensure we move to stage 2 as quickly as possible to see this vision become a reality. This message is strengthened with the support of our provincial representatives, Taras Nadishak, Percy Hatfield, and of course Lisa Gretzky. We also know how important this is to our region, and we are prepared, all of us collectively, to put our signatures to this joint letter to the Ministry of Health. Today, we are sending a clear message to the Ministry of Health that the city, the county, and our provincial representatives are united, and we are ready to work with them to move this major project forward. It is important to keep in mind that this project is much more than a single-site acute care hospital. It is about the transformation of healthcare services and delivery for our entire region. In fact, I would call it a systemic change. And I want to be clear on this point. This process and this project, this system change, in so doing, we are not abandoning the residents in the core of the city of Windsor. In fact, we are enhancing the services that they receive today. I see this as an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity to have a state-of-the-art facility that meets the needs of the region while at the same time providing new urgent care services on the former Grace Hospital site in the heart of our city, while also transforming the delivery of health care on the Hotel du Grace, the Hotel du site on Olette Avenue. This is the time to show the minister that we are united. We are ready to move forward. And together we will move forward, and we will give our assurance that we will work together as a region, city, county, provincially, federally, right through to the end of the process. Our residents in Windsor-Essex County deserve no less, and they expect no less. Let's work together because we are ready.
Gotta move the mic down a bit for that, from that guy. Thank you, Mayor Dilkins. Now I'm going to be calling up our warden from Essex County, Mr. Tom Bain.
Thank you very much, David. To open my remarks, I would like to just make one simple, clear statement, and that is, as the county warden, and on behalf of the County of Essex, we are ready. For over 3 years, considerable time, effort, and dollars have been committed to developing a bold new vision for hospital care in our region, Windsor-Essex. The teams at Windsor Regional Hospital and Hotel du have produced a plan not only for a new state-of-the-art acute care hospital, but a more broadly and for an innovative healthcare system, that for Essex County and City of Windsor. While our existing hospital infrastructure is what I call functional, major investments will be required to keep pace with modern capacities and capabilities of our current day healthcare needs. In fact, through stages 1A and 1B planning processes, it has been reaffirmed that it will be much more effective and efficient from a provisional form of care and financial perspective to proceed with our proposed new system than it would be to renovate our existing facilities. At the County of Essex and across our 7 local municipalities, we have faith in those who have developed the process for moving forward. We have faith in those who have conducted that process. We have faith in those who have administered the process. We have faith in those who have overseen the process. And finally, we have faith in the outcomes produced by this process. In December of last year, County Council heard from a delegation of hospital representatives seeking financial support. Although County Council was not presented with an exact amount or the exact timing of when this commitment must be due, or the exact mechanisms on how we were going to raise that money, County Council pledged its unanimous support for contributing its fair share. I might go one step further in saying that, in fact, our 2016 County Council budget contains an allocation where we're going to begin setting aside those necessary funds to meet our commitment to prove we are ready. The product of work to date is not merely fanciful dreaming. The planning, conclusions, and recommendations are credible, reasoned, justified, and defensible. The time to move forward is now upon us. I opened my comments with a simple, clear statement: we are ready. I close my comments with a simple, clear question. Premier Wynne, Minister Hoskins, are you ready? We feel our residents here in Essex County and Windsor certainly warrant your commitment, Premier. We deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Warden Bain. And I know Percy was not going to speak today, but his quote in the press release, I have to repeat it because it's phenomenal, if I could, Percy, for you. He says, the future of healthcare in this region is just too important to be playing politics about our need for a modern hospital. We need to stand united and speak with one voice. We are at a critical junction, and the team that got us to this point in the process need to know we are totally behind their efforts, as do the decision makers in the Ministry of Health in Toronto. And basically what you heard today is from our leaders, in a nutshell, saying exactly what Percy just said there, is Windsor-Essex deserves nothing less. So I want to personally thank Mayor Dilkins, Warden Bain, MPP Natashak, MPP Hatfield, and MPP Lisa Gretzky. Unfortunately, Lisa couldn't be here, but also what we can't forget too is, as indicated by Mayor Dilkins and Warden Bain, there was a handful of city councilors, a whole lot of them, and a bunch of mayors from the county council and deputy mayors that in principle supported the levy, the 10%, and supported it, from my count, including these two guys, with an over 20-to-1 vote. And when I talk to other individuals, other CEOs, consultants across the province that have worked on projects similar to this, they were amazed at the commitment from our local leaders with respect to the project. And they said those local leaders definitely should be proud, and our community should be proud to have individuals like that leading us and leading this community moving forward, in this region moving forward. So thank you, and thank all of those, your councillors and your mayors and deputy mayors as well, for their support. One of the things in my comments, we look back at this day, we're going to remember it. And we're going to remember it for leaders like this, who stepped forward together, put aside the politics, and look at what's best for Windsor-Essex, look at what's best for this region, and say we're willing to work together and make this a reality. It's going to positively impact us today, and it's going to be positively impacting our generations to come in our region. So again, I want to thank them for being here today and sending that voice, that unified voice, which, trust me, they're hearing in Toronto, they're hearing at the Ministry of Health, and the reason we know that, we've already received some calls wanting to know what we're doing today. So the fact they're calling us, asking us, means they're already hearing about it. So that's good. That's a positive thing. News travels fast. So that's fantastic. So today, at the conclusion, what these individuals have done is they've worked on a letter that's going to be sent to our Minister of Health, as well as to the Erie St. Clair LHIN, and it's a positive letter. It's a letter to say we've come together as a community unified, and we're committed to working together to make this project a reality, and we're committed to working with the Erie St. Clair LHIN and the Ministry of Health to make that happen, but we got to move ahead, because we are ready to move ahead. So again, I invite our distinguished guests to go up and start signing the letters, and clearly for the media there'll be an opportunity to do a photo of them signing the letters, because there's a handful of them to sign. So, gentlemen.
No, exactly. I know. Too short.
Shall we all do it at once?
You can keep the pen, Percy.
I got it. Thank you. I'm sorry.
So I don't know if the media or anyone in the crowd, any of our ambassadors to the media have questions for anybody here? Any questions? Media? We answer them all? Wow.
I was just going to bring the community together. If two of your council members are talking about a big announcement like this for a hashtag.
Well, at the end of the day, I think the vast majority of city council, along with county council, as you heard, supports this project. There's a reason the leadership provincially is standing here, there's a reason the leadership from the city is standing here, and there's a reason the leadership from the county is standing here. And so you have strong leadership that rises above some of the negativity that you hear in the community. This is too important of a project to get mired up in politics, to get mired up being armchair planners. At the end of the day, this is a critical piece of infrastructure, several pieces of infrastructure for our community that will have lasting impacts and legacies in this community for decades and decades to come.
So that said, there is a lawsuit being forward, so is there a risk kind of pushing forward with this before that issue is resolved?
No, we're, like I stated, we're going to be finalizing stage 1 this month, in the next month with the Ministry of Health. We'll be finalizing those discussions. Both the O'Keeffe's and Windsor Regional Hospital are aggressively defending that lawsuit. All of the documents that are published in that lawsuit are public, and we will be sharing those with the community as well. And we're very hopeful that that lawsuit will be wrapped up in the next month as well, because that lawsuit has zero merit. And counsel for both the O'Keeffe's and ourselves will be showing that. Mr. Harvey Strasberg is representing the O'Keeffe's, and the law firm of Board and Landry Survey is representing Windsor Regional Hospital.
So are you worried about this opposition? This is a really big thing to do, essentially just to say we're on board and signing that letter. So
Okay, so like I stated, I've been in this community close to 50 years. I was born here. I haven't seen this at all.
It's tough to get us all in a room together at the same time, given our schedules. It's even tougher to have us agree wholeheartedly on the need for this project. Anyone can attest to that. I mean, the political ramifications of this project, of this scope, are quite enormous. But to be able to see the net benefit for our entire region, I think brings us closer together and ushers in a new era of cooperation. And we can see that quite clearly. And it is reflected in the voices of our constituencies too as well. We need this, and they want us to work towards it, and that's what today is.
Even before I was elected, we met with the hospital group and they asked us not to play politics with the hospital issue. They asked us to step aside and let the process unfold, and we've done that. And today, you're asked, okay, let's get together now and let the community know that we're all behind this, and we are. We've always been behind it. Today is the day that we say, come on, we are ready to make this happen.
One of the things that came to me a couple of minutes ago is that for years, Windsor has not really been considered as a part of Ontario, as Ontario went in London. Is that still prevalent within, shall we say, our present government, and not bringing things to any particular party? would that be a possible problem that you could have?
Bruce, maybe you've noticed the Hurt Bay Parkway. Ontario begins in Windsor, Canada begins in Windsor, so that 401, that isn't there anymore as far as I'm concerned.
Just with this hashtag, we are ready, and these kinds of support from this group has kind of been pretty consistent throughout the process. Provincial governments have had a chance to hear some good things from this. Have we heard anything back from them lately on this project?
Well, I stated as lately as this morning, they were very interested in today's event. Yes, they're working with us. As stated, over the next month, we'll be completing the Stage 1B discussions with them, and then we'll be out of position, hopefully, for them to move ahead to Stage 2. They have to take some time to process that themselves internally as well. And the letter that we're signing today is not a letter saying, let's put the shovel in the ground. We're not being unrealistic here, but we know the only chance we're going to get that shovel in the ground, be it 5-6 years from now when that shovel goes into the ground, is to move ahead with the planning that's in front of us. Is we could get stalled at this stage and spin and nothing happens and the other jurisdictions pass us by. We can't let that happen. As stated, is there questions that need to be answered? Yes, there is. But that's the part of the process. That's the part of the planning process. But we'll never get to answering those questions definitively unless we move ahead. And that's what we're here today as a group to say in a unified fashion is Windsor-Essex deserves nothing less. And we are moving ahead with a unified voice. And I can't be prouder to be part of this historic moment with these gentlemen, along with Lisa Gretzky as part of the letter, to say it's time to move ahead and that we are ready to move ahead.
So, that said, there hasn't been any concrete thing from the provincial government that says we are going to move ahead with the mega hospital.
Well, it's a stage process. They gave us $2.5 million to the planning so far. We're in discussions with them to finalize Stage 1 and move into Stage 2. Those discussions are ongoing. We've received no indication as of this stage whatsoever that there's any problem with those discussions. They've been moving along nicely. The problem is, though, as we've stated for the last 4 years, the move to Stage 2 is critical. That's when you get rid of the if you have a project and all you're focusing is on when. Right now, we're still at that if and when phase, and we've got to get rid of the if, and the way you get rid of the if is you show the province we're serious, and you can't get more serious than the city and the county coming forward in principle and saying they're going to come up with the local share and basically do it almost unanimously to do that, and to have our provincial leadership here saying the same thing. We're ready. Our region's ready, and it's time to move on.
David, just kind of to piggyback off of that, you mentioned that there's 5 jurisdictions across the province in the same stage and a finite amount of financial resources. So what is the challenge at this point when you're competing basically with those other jurisdictions?
Is to move the process forward and to show to the ministry why this is so important to Windsor-Essex, and to have leaders like this say, this is important. We're putting aside all those politics, as Percy said in his statement and all the other statements. Politics aside, we're here today, historically, to show we're serious. And that sends a strong message. And that's what we're talking about with this hashtag. We have to, a lot of the times, sometimes you only hear as a community the small, vocal naysayers, right? We always hear that. There is a large, silent majority that is speaking up, saying we need to move ahead.
Are the other jurisdictions not as united, or do they not have the...
They are as united, if not more united in the sense of we're all at the same spot.
Right, so how do we, I guess, come up on top of them to get that?
We're here. This is it. You're looking at it. This is how it is. And it takes us as a community. It's not just them. It takes all of us as a community in Windsor-Essex to speak up. And that's what we've been asked, is saying, who do we talk to? Our Minister of Health is very active on Twitter. Reach out with this hashtag. We are ready. They're listening to us. They're hearing us because, like I said, we were contacted as late as this morning saying, hey, what's going on in Windsor? What are you talking about? Because I think the printed media talked about funding. And they're like, are we making an announcement? And I joked with them. I said, hey, if you want to, come on down. They give us the money. We'll be more than glad to take it. But the goal is to be able to say, there's a finite amount of money, basically. They're going to invest the money in regions that want it. The last thing they want to do, give the region $1.8 billion in investments for hospital health care, and then the region says, we don't want that, we don't need that, we don't like any of this. They don't want to do that.
So basically, you want the public to use this hashtag as much as possible, so you can point basically to the health minister and say, listen, it's been used 16,000 times.
Whatever it is, but it's just it gives an opportunity for that silent majority who we're starting to hear from now, an opportunity to talk and to say this is important and
If
our
I
region
could
deserves it.
jump in on that silent majority thing, they are starting to talk. I have never been so bombarded in my life. I can't go to any sporting events, grocery store that are coming up, and I'm just continually hearing, don't lose that hospital. Don't lose that hospital. What's going on? Oh, sorry, I'm so-and-so. They don't even give me their name or who they are. They just first remarks are, don't lose that hospital. We need that hospital. And I'm getting it 18 hours a day, no matter where I'm at, that's where I'm here.
You're saying that there's a finite amount of money and there's 6 jurisdictions vying for this money. Has the ministry made it clear that not all 6 will get it?
No, they're going to continue to work with 6 and see where it's at, but I can guarantee you the way we're not going to get it is if we don't move forward ourselves and we get stuck ourselves and we create impediments ourselves. Then I guarantee we're not even in play. Those jurisdictions are all at about the same stage. And it's the ones that move forward and say they're ready to move forward are the ones that the ministry is going to listen to and talk to. But they have no master plan with respect to who goes first, who goes second, who goes third. But I can tell you, I don't have access to the provincial ministry funds, but $12 billion to spend on new hospitals over the next 10 years is a lot of money. Again, we stand no chance of getting access to that if we don't move ahead.
Taras and Percy, speaking of the other communities, since it is a liberal government, those other communities have liberal MPPs. Do you think they have a better shot than us?
No, I don't. I reject that premise wholeheartedly. I mean, provincial spending should be based on data, should be based on community need and a fulsome debate in the process. So, if those communities are doing the same work that we are doing here, then it'll be an open competition. But I can tell you that in today's announcement, in essentially clearing the political road for us, knowing that our municipal counterparts at both the county and city level are on board with speaking in a concerted voice. It allows myself and Percy and Lisa to actively pursue those funds and to be relentless on the desire of this community, because we know we have the backing of this community and of its elected officials. So it aids in our work, and I haven't yet heard that from any members of any political stripe in the legislature who are in the same process. So this is really a great opportunity for us to keep the issue on the hot burner and to chase it doggedly.
You may remember just after the last provincial election, one of the first questions put to the Premier was, are you going to forget about Windsor? And her answer, no, I will not forget about Windsor. And we keep reminding her every day that we're in the House. We talk to her. Either before or after question period, we go over and talk to her. And we go over and talk to the health minister and the other ministers. There is an open dialogue with the Premier, her cabinet, and ourselves. So no, we have an open access. We've talked to them at any time. We've talked to them any day that they're in the House. And she said she would not forget about Windsor, and I accept that.
So again,
What do you think we'll hear from the ministry?
Well, again, we'll be wrapping up our discussions with them over the next month. It'll take some time for them to review all of those materials and finalize those discussions. I stated it 6 months ago. I'm hoping in the springtime, early spring, middle spring, sometime in the springtime, we'll get a definitive answer to move ahead to stage 2. So that's kind of the timing, and that's why it's important to be here today, is let's not wait until the springtime to have this discussion. Let's start this discussion now. So when they get the finalized 1B materials are all finalized, we're not starting at that point and having those discussions and how important this is. Now's the time. So when that's sitting on someone's desk, I want them to be able to say to us, could you have people stop tweeting me and Facebooking me about the importance of this project in Windsor-Essex? We're moving it ahead to stage 2. Could you tell people to stop? That would be great. That's the phone call I want to get from the Ministry of Health regarding this project. And as Tom stated, I think everyone's hearing the same thing on this stage with respect to the community, saying, let's move ahead, let's move this forward. And everyone's saying, well, do you have scientific evidence of that? Well, no, you don't get scientific evidence of that. But I think Windsor Star and the 8800 did polls, and they're pretty much confirming what we've been saying and what we're hearing in the community, is move this ahead, we can't afford to lose it.
Is moving it to stage 2 guaranteed for possibility though?
No, and that's the part of this process. It's guaranteed, I guess, sorry, it's a when, it's not guaranteed as to the timing, but once you go to stage 2, yes, you're in the Infrastructure Ontario planning process, and you're guaranteed you're gonna have a project, there's just not a definitive when date on it, but you're past the if. So yes, if you move ahead, you definitely have a project, again, the definitive date, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We're at stage 1 of a 5-stage process. And everyone wants to kind of think we're going to be sticking a shovel in the ground tomorrow and building this thing. No, folks. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of questions to be asked, a lot of questions to be answered. But we stand no chance of moving forward and getting those questions asked and getting those answers by being stuck here. And I know we're not stuck here because got these folks pushing and going to be there talking about it on an ongoing basis, and these folks in the audience and our community. And again, now's the time, we're ready, let's move ahead, let's have a united voice, a positive voice, moving forward. And we want to work with the Ministry of Health in making this a reality, and trust me, when the Ministry of Health sees this group of individuals along with Lisa, that's a strong voice. You can't get any stronger than this. I want to see a community step up like this. This takes courage, this takes leadership, and that's exactly what you're seeing here today, are from these individuals doing this today. And saying, as Percy said, tell us when. Tell us when. And we said, now's the time, let's go, let's do this. And that's why they're here. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you.